You're listening to Real Crime, the Movie Sleuth podcast.
Hi.
We're back.
We're back.
What episode are we on now?
This is episode 133.
Holy crap.
We've actually done a lot of shows. You know, so every once in a while when I'm like, we haven't done many lately or whatever, then I kind of look back at, we've actually done a lot.
133 shows is a lot of shows.
And I think a lot of podcasts would be happy if they could actually get this far. So it is what it is. We're doing our best.
Yep. And the word's still spreading, so.
Yeah.
And it's all about the journey, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree too.
We have a good time doing it. So.
Yep. And I think that's the most important thing, you know. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. So this is, yes, episode 133 of Real Crime. Somebody's got their phone on still. Who is it?
Not me.
Keep hearing dinging. Ding dong.
It wasn't.
Phones off, please.
You know.
Hey, just so everybody knows, my federal income tax was accepted.
Woohoo!
Oh, well, that's good then.
Yeah, I get $2 back. I wish I was being funny about that. I actually get $2 back.
All that mileage, though. That mileage, I would think that you'd be getting.
I had 7,000 in deductions, and I'm getting $2 back.
I'm not surprised.
That's kind of crazy.
The new tax laws are fun.
Yeah, I haven't done mine yet because I'm a little bit scared to actually do it.
It's terrifying.
So, luckily, I've got a lot of kids and about 30,000 miles to write off.
Yeah, I don't have the kids.
Yeah,
I wish I had the dependents because then I would have. That would have been much prettier.
Now all you have are depends.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Getting there.
All right. So this is episode. What did I say?
133.
Yeah, 133. Wow.
It's like we're paying attention in your
Yeah,
head.
I know. That's a first.
So who are our sponsors now?
So our sponsors are Rudy's Matador Martial Arts.
Of course.
So he's still on board as a sponsor. And then, of course,
Rudy Garza is amazing.
Yeah, Rudy's awesome.
He's a cool guy.
Hi, Rudy. And then Flint Institute of Arts.
Of course. They kicked me out.
Did they?
They kicked me out. Yeah, I haven't been on the
What'd you do?
It's been so long since I've been on the podcast. They're like, you know what? Like, we don't want you here anymore. You're not part of Real Crime anymore.
Yeah.
So
Maybe you can move back in.
maybe I can. Maybe they'll let me back into the janitor's closet for a few days.
They'll be like, hey,
Hey,
Trevor.
you're cool again. Hey,
Trevor just broke the mic.
Trevor is breaking shit.
There you go. Should be good. Is it threading?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Of course. I got this.
We fixed the technical difficulties already. No stress. And then, of course, projectorscreen.com.
Of course.
Yeah. And they gave Trevor a tent to pitch at.
They did.
The
They
Flint
did.
Institute of Arts.
In more ways than one.
I'm hoping that we can get like some. I'm hoping we can get some like retail marijuana sponsors.
That would be amazing.
That'd be cool.
We could start looking into them.
Yeah, I think we could probably get some.
Yeah.
Maybe test some product out on the show.
Well, you guys can.
We're gonna need.
You guys
We're
can.
gonna need
I'm
some
still
samples.
420 free.
Yeah. We're going to need some samples there. Oh, I know somebody. Yeah, I'm going to look into that.
Cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Like I said, that'll be you guys testing the samples. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Get some awesome gummy bears.
There you go. And I will happily watch that live stream and giggle.
I was gonna say we should do the live stream and we could be like quizzed on trivia and see how
well we do.
I would volunteer to come in and be the one who quizzes you guys.
Okay.
I
we
would
should do a game show night. That would be hilarious.
That would be hysterical. Get everybody high and
Let's
then
do
a
high trivia.
high trivia. Yeah.
Do movie sleuth trivia.
I even have a horror movie trivia game at home that I can bring.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a bunch of movie trivia games. So
yeah.
I'm sure between
all of us, I'm pretty sure that we can be okay on that.
I'm doing some more shares here.
Of course you are, because that's what we do.
Share away.
Yep, share and share alike. Do we have any good news this week?
Yeah, so
that
in
Batman
news this week, Matt Reeves debuted the Batmobile today, And of course, there's backlash. With everything, there's always backlash.
Of course.
Batmobile. Like,
Dude,
no.
it looks like the most badass
Batmobile
Charger
ever.
version of like muscle car Batmobile. I love it. It's very 1966 Batman without being kitschy.
Yeah. And it just, like, he's going full, like, Batman noir with this thing.
Yeah, it seems like Batman, like something that's actually practical.
Yeah.
That some dude was like, let's make the parts for this. And like they build the freaking Batmobile in the Batcave. It's not like a Tumbler where it's like this weird military prototype.
Which
stuff.
I was fine with that too. But I think with what we're getting now, it's just going to be more Batman.
I think so. Although I'm still disappointed that they won't put him in a cloth costume.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
don't
didn't
know
like
what's
the
up.
costume either. I didn't like the look of it at all. The car, I was a little surprised to see how it looked. I was expecting something like the military looking thing,
yeah.
based on how the
costume
outlook
looked.
Yeah,
The costume is like freaking paramilitary
I
body armor.
really didn't like. I don't like the way the cowl looks or anything. I
like the cowl from certain angles.
I really hate it, to be honest.
From certain angles,
Hate
the
it.
cowl looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
for the
think
most
we'll
part,
find out when it's on film. It might look a lot different.
I don't
though.
expect to like it though, because they don't. I mean, the way that they make the Batman movies and all the comic movies are not my.
They're not your cup of tea.
Yeah, it's just not my aesthetic and the things I like. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge.
I'm kind of waiting for you to see New Mutants.
Yeah.
I think that might be the superhero movie that converts you.
I mean,
I
I
think.
don't dislike all of them. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy and I liked Watchmen. The Wonder Woman movie was okay. I just recently watched the trailer for the new one, and I got I got choked up over that. But Wonder Woman's my favorite. You know
I
that.
can't wait
so
for the new Wonder Woman.
it doesn't even have to be good. I'll like that. That's like the one. Her and She-Hulk are like the probably
I can't
two
wait for
characters who
She-Hulk.
like the movie doesn't have to be like perfect or what I don't have any expectations.
Yeah, the She-Hulk series is sounding like they're going to take it seriously and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, by seriously, I mean do it
No.
as the funny.
No, I
She-Hulk.
always had my idea for what I would do for a She-Hulk show. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if that's what they did.
I'm hoping they do it as a lawyer drama.
That's what I thought. Well, I thought. Well, I won't get into it now, but I had like a whole idea for a
L.A.
TV
Law
show,
with She-Hulk.
pretty much.
I would be so down
But
for
set
that.
in that in the time of the original comic,
Okay.
like 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
So she's like dealing with like the actual way some pigs would be about
Yeah,
a female lawyer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Especially a 6'8".
Well, she wasn't always. At that point, she went back and forth.
That's right. She did. She could.
Yeah.
She could be herself. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We off topic
We're
one
getting
more time.
yeah.
Did you watch the Legion TV show?
No.
God, I think you might really like that too. It's more like psychological horror
Yeah.
than it is anything. It's not a superhero show at all.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. And it's really off that Bill Sienkiewicz art style of that character. Mm-hmm. And it really is the darkest. It and The Boys are probably the two darkest superhero anything.
Yeah, The
I've
Boys
seen.
was really good. I think you might like The Boys too.
I've been hearing good stuff about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The
Back to
Boys was
news.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Talking about Boys, the Lost Boys pilot is back on for the CW, and it just looks like it's going to be Drek. Like they're modernizing it and they're turning it into like a, like teenage drama a la CW kind of thing. And I'm just not turned on by this idea.
Hopefully the kids like it.
That's I'm gonna say. It's
You know?
not, I don't think we're the target for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we have our Lost Boys. We and we're pretty freaking set in our ways
Yeah.
for what the Lost Boys is. So this has got to be aimed at a whole other market. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem
That's
I
what I'm
have
getting.
is, why does it have to be the Lost Boys then? Can't you just make it something else? If you're changing everything about it.
concept-wise,
Yeah.
Lost Boys is brilliant, and I
Yeah.
think if they went too close to the concept,
maybe
that
it
they'd
would
get
screw it up.
sued. They'd get sued the hell out of.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then in other news, we posted they're releasing Hot Toys is releasing Mandalorian toys now. Yeah. They did new Stormtrooper and the Death Trooper, and the Death Trooper is amazing
Gorgeous.
looking. Yeah.
Well, dude, Hot Toys has never made a bad looking toy.
Yep. And then in other sci-fi news, this week Simon Pegg said he's not really sure about the status of Star Trek 4, and that most of the cast from the Kelvin timeline, J.J. Abrams rebooted universe, that most of them are not really that excited to come back due to the death of Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
And he kind of said it was like a family before, and now they have removed a family member due to his passing, and it would just be
a pretty major one.
Yeah. What would they do? I mean, would they essentially just, Chekhov's not in this story?
Yeah, that's what they were talking about, is that they weren't going to replace him, that they weren't going to bring in a new Chekhov, that they were just going to have no Chekhov. Which...
He could be on an away mission.
It's still kind of like hokey, though, because the whole time you're watching it, you know
that he's dead.
Yeah.
And he was such a central character.
Yeah, and then what are they going to do? Kill a character off?
They better not. Can you imagine fan uproar if they killed off Anton Yelchin's character?
Yeah.
Whew.
It would have been like if they had killed Leia in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. Yeah. I'm not too disappointed by that anyway, to be honest.
And then Call of the Wild, the Harrison Ford starring feature film, took like a major hit at the box office. I know it was like 50 million plus. It did not do well.
But everything is taking a hit, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think nothing's doing well right now.
Well, when you advertise a movie with a CGI dog, it kind of takes away.
That dog was not pretty.
I mean, I saw the trailer. I kind of wanted to see that movie.
I want to see the movie because I love the book.
Yeah.
I love the book.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's a total classic.
But that CGI dog, I don't want a dog that interacts with me fake. I know what dogs look like.
They should have just put Chewbacca in there instead, like CGI Chewbacca.
Might as well.
Call of the Wookiee. All right. And then today, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, the coronavirus, James Bond, No Time to Die, has been pushed back 7 months.
That's fine.
Yikes.
Yeah, because they don't want to end up with a box office loss.
Yep.
And they think people are going to start staying out of public places. So...
Because people are starting to stay out of public places.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this James Bond movie has been kind of cursed from
the get-go.
Day one. Danny Boyle left the project. They scrapped the entire script. They had to recast, do all kinds of crazy shit. So, yeah. So, whatever.
It's not the worst things that have ever happened to a Bond movie, but they're pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. And that's about it for news for this week. And then the only new movie we have this week, I believe, is Onward, which Dana went to the screening.
Doesn't Ben Affleck's new movie come out this week?
Oh, yeah, The Way Back. I think that might be out this week.
That looks really good.
I want to see Onward.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see Onward.
It looks really cute.
Dana saw it last night. Review is ready to go. It's in the chamber, so we'll post that tomorrow. So make sure you check out the Movie Sleuth for that. All right, let's get to suggested viewings. I'm going to suggest a very obvious one this week, a movie that I'm absolutely in love with and that I will definitely see again this weekend, The Invisible Man. It is the best horror movie probably of the last 4 or 5 years, and it's a very smart thriller. You just got to see it. If you're a fan of Upgrade and Leigh Whannell's other work, which we know Upgrade was flipping awesome.
Upgrade's probably my favorite movie of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So
you have got to see The Invisible Man. It is really good. It was made on a tight budget. It was between $7 and $9 million.
Why does Leigh Whannell keep getting the smallest budgets? It's
because he can work with it. He can work within the confines of a small budget and make a phenomenal film. Yeah. So I think,
why give him a big budget when he can do great stuff with a little one and make a lot more money?
Exactly. It quadrupled its budget in the first weekend.
Good.
So
that's awesome.
Yep. All right, Mara, what's yours?
All right, I've been kind of laying low. I haven't been watching many movies lately or shows. But the one thing I have been keeping up with this year is Curb Your Enthusiasm. This new season has been hilarious. I've been a fan of Larry David since the beginning and wasn't too hot on the previous season he did, but this one's really, really good. Very funny.
I have never seen any of it.
Really?
Never.
I need to.
I want to.
Yeah.
And it's not for lack of interest. It's literally for lack of getting to it.
Do you like Seinfeld?
Sometimes.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is I'm not a huge fan of Seinfeld. I don't hate it, but I'm just. I
It was
don't know.
okay.
Yeah, but I love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Larry David is just
He is a
very
brilliant writer.
Yeah, he's just a lovable like jerk for lack of a better term.
He's a lovable
And-
curmudgeon.
Yeah, and the way that he, like what you say about writer, the way he kind of spins the tale of whatever the half-hour episode seems
Yeah.
to be about, it always comes around. There's
Yeah.
like these little details at the beginning of the episode, and it's just a little tiny setup, and then like this chain
it
of
pays
events
off.
happens, and it'll end with the payoff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And some of them you just don't, you can't see from a mile away.
Yeah.
You're just like, and it just hits you, and it's so funny.
Do you know where it's streaming?
It's on HBO right now.
Crap.
I mean, you can watch the previous episodes on Prime right now, or the previous seasons. Not
Okay.
the last one and the one they're on right now, but all the other ones.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I just came off a rewatch of the entire series. Like I was just I'm missing Larry, so I put it on, and then
Just like good deadpan humor.
oh yeah, totally.
HBO is only, I think, like $5.99 or something on Amazon Prime right now. It's pretty
is.
cheap.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But I'm waiting for their big service to come
with
out.
everything tied into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're doing DC Universe is all going in there, and all that is going to be part of one big package for like $12. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
one
forgot
more thing about Curb Your Enthusiasm, Richard Lewis is amazing on it, especially
Really?
this last season. Yeah,
I didn't know he was in it.
yeah,
Oh,
he's
I
in it.
loved him.
He's Larry's like best friend. They went to camp together when they were kids.
That is,
So they
I
have
am
this-
thinking the right Richard Lewis, right? The most neurotic man in the
Oh yeah,
history of
yes.
comedy. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
they're great. They're great, man. The way they bicker, they're
Yeah.
just like their chemistry is. Like they really are, like childhood friends who went to camp together and everything.
Although every time I hear his name, all I can think of is, I have a mole?
I know,
Why did no one tell me I have a mole?
He's great in that too.
Yeah, he is. I guess my turn. I guess
It's your turn.
So on DVD, on Blu-ray last week or the week before, they finally put out Swamp Thing, the DC Universe TV series. It is the best horror television series I have ever seen,
Really?
ever. But then I hate American Horror Story, so I'm not
Me too.
not a great.
I could never make it through.
Me-
I watched like the first episode,
I've
and I
watched-
just can't.
I made it through the first
I don't
half of
dislike
the
it.
first
It just
season.
doesn't- I
It's
just
just
can't do
so
it.
boring.
Yeah.
I liked the first season, and then the second season. By the time we got to the third, we were like, no, this
I
sucks.
couldn't even make it like 2/3 of the way through the first season of it. I'm like, I don't care anymore.
And I really
Kill
thought
'em.
I'd be able to make it through the Lady Gaga season, and I watched the first episode, and I was like, this wasn't bad, but I don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, she's a good actress.
She's a
But-
really good actress.
Yeah.
But it's the topic of the show. I can't, like, it always feels like it's just all over the place. It's never focused. Like, they try to cram
Maybe
in
that's
as
what it
much.
is.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
it's kind of like you don't feel. I'm not drawn to go
It's like
back
3
to it.
storylines
Yeah.
that aren't
Yeah.
told very well.
Yeah.
That finally kind of come together at the end, but not very well. I don't know.
So
But
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, amazing body horror. Like, it is some of the most disturbing stuff I've ever seen.
Sorry to cut you off, but is this like the one that was on last year, a couple years ago?
This last year.
Yeah.
It was like in
okay,
the fall
yeah.
of 2019 on the
Yeah.
DC Universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it only had one season. They actually managed to get Adrienne Barbeau to come back for a little bit of it. It is dead on Alan Moore Swamp Thing plus horror. More horror. And it is actually scary. It is actually interesting. It is shot well. And it is mostly practical effects. So you
cool.
get a lot of great stuff going on in there. Cannot recommend it more.
So, our topic this week, we're going deep. We decided last week with the religious holidays that we were going to discuss films about God. And I think this is a very this encompasses a lot of different ideas, because God can either be just a being, or God can be like the greater meaning of life. It can be like numerous things. So I think there's a very broad spectrum to this. But some of them are just straight up movies about God.
Absolutely.
In human form.
I know I have at least one.
Yeah. I know the first one I ever saw when I was a kid.
That was mine
was
too.
A series of films starring George Burns is God.
Yep.
And it was, Oh God, Book 2.
And then, Oh God, You Devil.
In Oh God, You Devil, George Burns played God
and
the devil. And they were twins and, opposing ends of the spectrum. So
and they were so charming.
Yeah, they were sweet.
Good movies. It's so funny. Like
good-natured.
Yeah.
There was nothing cynical about these films. He was basically in each film, he was God, basically coming to Earth, kind of almost like in a It's a Wonderful Life kind of way, coming to the physical plane to help humans get through some, baseline drama.
And John Denver was so good in the first one.
Yeah, John Denver was in the first one. I can't remember who was in the second one. In the third one, it was really George Burns.
That was just a George Burns movie that had somebody co-starring with him.
Yeah, and it's funny too, like George Burns playing God. Mm-hmm. He was
so good in it.
But he was just like the same guy all the time. Like, very...
The cigar.
Cigar typecast, but just very, very sweet movies. And I think those were out like late 70s, early
77
80s.
was the first one.
Yeah. And then I think the second one was maybe 79 or 80.
80.
And then the next one, 82? 84. Okay, so there's a little bit of space in between them.
Yep.
But those were some of the last films he did, too, I think. But either way, George Burns is God in 3 different movies. No, a lot more? Okay.
His last movie was in 94, and it was Radioland Murders.
Oh, wow. I didn't remember that he was in that.
I remembered he did stuff in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he died 2 years after that.
Okay.
At 100.
Jeez. Long career.
But up until
I forgot Terry Garr. Terry Garr and Donald Pleasance were also in Oh God, by the way.
That's right. Yeah.
I forgot all about both of them being in it. Jeez.
I love Terry Garr in the 70s and 80s.
I
still love her.
Yeah.
But
Mom and Dad Saved the World is one of my favorite horrible movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
So
Anyways.
that's, one version of God on film, but obviously there's numerous other takes that we can have on that. Mm-hmm. So what would you guys, somebody else take the floor now?
Okay, well, I really kind of struggled with this topic, and I felt intimidated by it, like it was out of my wheelhouse, because I typically kind of avoid, I guess, movies that are religious in nature.
Me too. That's why I picked it.
Interesting. I mean, so I did like it because it kind of forced me to think about different movies, and I rewatched a couple movies, and the one that I'm going to talk about now that oh my God, I rewatched it and I loved it even, I think, more than the last time I saw it is Contact.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it's just a great study, a great story about faith.
Yep.
If nothing else. Mm-hmm. And, I mean...
A story about faith from an atheist scientist.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that Sagan did it, and yeah.
I know, and that's a book that's been sitting on my shelf, by the way, since I saw that movie. Or I think I was like, no, I'm going to read the book, then I'll see the movie. And then eventually I was like, I'm just going to watch the movie. But I want to read it. I'm sure it's an amazing novel because the story is so engaging. Mm-hmm. It's over 2 hours long, and I'm really picky about length. I get real nitpicky if you're over 90 minutes. If you're like 100 minutes, I start to get antsy. 2 hours, it's got to be like the movie's got to be like I don't even know.
It's got to be The Godfather.
Yeah. So I mean, so it works. It's so good, and I know a lot of people had like problems with it because I think they were expecting something very different when it came out. I think that if you were one of those people and you saw it when it came out and you were mad because you were expecting like more of like a spectacle, like a Little Green Men type thing, go back and rewatch it. I think it still holds up.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing about it that like you kind of get cringy about.
That was Jodie Foster,
you know?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matthew
she
McConaughey.
was so good in that movie.
Yeah. So
and
was
Matthew
he.
McConaughey was the
he was
priest,
the
or
religious.
minister.
Yeah.
Both of them, just such compelling performances from both of them.
Yeah, he was one like kind of calling into question the faith of the entire story, basically.
Yeah.
He kind of balanced her character
that was
out.
his purpose.
Yeah, he balanced her out. He did, and then I don't want to give it away, but it's so good. And even like
I think it's old enough that we can be a little spoilery with it.
I think so too. You can spoil it. It's totally fine.
Mara has
I
this
won't.
look like I don't want to.
I'm not going to. I won't do it. You know, okay, because I studied film and I got a bachelor's degree in film studies. And in film studies, spoilers are just not a thing. And the professor will just be like, "Oh, so by the way, here's the end scene of this movie," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I love
so
that.
I'm like, I'm extra like militant about no spoilers.
Yeah.
Because
film school did the same
I had
thing
like
to me.
I think it was French Connection. She shows the last scene, and I saw the
What?
last scene of Chinatown too. And it wasn't French. I think it was Chinatown. I can't remember.
Either way, that's
Maybe
two
both.
amazing endings.
Yeah, I
And they
know.
were ruined for you.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh
like,
my god!
okay,
I would have stormed out of
I'm
that
kind of
class.
like far enough along now that maybe I can go watch Chinatown, but still,
French Connection and Chinatown are both so freaking brilliant.
still. Anyway,
Oh
back to Contact.
yeah,
There's
Good movie.
that hurts.
I also like the I like the way it looks. Like I don't know.
It was a well done movie.
Yeah, with the like they did that like Forrest Gump kind of that like the effect where they show Bill Clinton like sitting in
yeah.
and they're like talks.
Yeah,
That was kind of cheesy, but like
it was, but it worked.
yeah.
It worked. I mean, especially for the time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we didn't know better yet.
I know.
You know?
No, and I mean, there's a lot of people that still don't like this movie, but I love this movie.
I think it was. I think it was wonderful.
I do too.
And I think this is still Jodie Foster, like at the top of her game. I know she really doesn't do much anymore.
I don't think she ever had a bottom of her game.
No, I mean she does kind of like poopy stuff now, like Hotel Artemis and stuff. Like,
But she's still excellent in them.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
That's kind of my thing. Is that the movie might not be great, but she is.
Yeah, she can carry.
Flight Plan comes to mind. I don't know if either one of you've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember, which tells you a lot.
And then there was the Fincher one, Panic Room, but that was good.
That was good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna go comedy.
yeah,
And really blow this out of the water. I'm gonna go Life of Brian.
Okay. That was one of the ones on my list to watch, but I didn't get around to it.
That one, I mean, literally, it's the story of Jesus' next door neighbor who is mistaken by all the people of the village for being the Messiah. And it is about as Monty Python as a Monty Python movie can get. I actually prefer it to the Holy Grail. Like, I know that's almost sacrilege these days. But,
I don't think so.
But I love the Holy Grail, but Life of Brian, I think, is just a little bit better. There's one scene in it that has stuck with me my entire life, and it's John Cleese as the Roman centurion, and Eric Idle is, or not Eric Idle, Michael Palin. No, it's Graham Chapman.
Yes.
Graham Chapman is doing graffiti for the People's Liberation Army of Judea, or the Judean People's Liberation Front, or whatever. But he's doing all this anti-Roman graffiti all over the side of the temple. And John Cleese's character comes over and looks at it. He's like, "Did you do this?" You're like, "Yeah, I did." No, I didn't. No. And he's like, That's an interesting conjugation, don't you think? Shouldn't it be this and corrects his Latin on it, and then makes him write it 100 more times on the wall in the proper form of Latin with the proper tense proper tense verbs. And so, because he's like, no, this says "Home Go Romans," not "Romans Go Home."
Go homes, Romans.
And so, but that scene has always stuck with me. The "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life" is one of the greatest songs ever made by human beings.
They close every Iron Maiden show out with that.
Of course. Of course. Monty Python closed out every one of their shows with it, too. But yeah, I mean, freaking Life of Brian, man.
Yeah. So, this film is not specifically about God, even though I look at this film as it's a biblical morality tale. Mother, Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Have you guys seen this film?
No.
Just an amazing movie, and a lot of people, when it came out, didn't really understand it, but it really is kind of like a modernized tale spun out of the Bible, but it's really about, mother, giving birth and the replication of the human species and just like society falling apart. But if you watch this movie, there is definitely a very godly undercurrent to it. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is that Aronofsky is an atheist as well. So he always has a very interesting take on stories from the Bible, because he did Noah as well, which was another Bible story, that he did. Did you guys see that one?
Nope.
I didn't even know about that one.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Russell
Crowe. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I really wanted to see it.
Maybe
It's just
I
one
did
I
and
just
I forgot about
keep not getting a chance to see. Like, I never see it anywhere.
We need to schedule some more movie nights is what we need.
Dude, we're going to have a bunch at my house this year.
But Mother, it's part Bible study, it's part horror, it's part, looking at how we treat each other and how we ravage each other, when we put ourselves out there. It's a very interesting story, but again, there's this very godly, like I said, undercurrent to it.
Yeah.
I definitely suggest seeing it. I think you'll love it. It's violent, but it's not uber violent, but then when it gets really violent, it goes hardcore.
Yeah.
A lot of people were very upset with the ending of the film because it kind of...
I like how that's
it kind of goes there. So, Mother is a definite suggestion, and also I had Noah on my list as well. Definitely check out both of those movies. I mean, Aronofsky is one of my favorite directors of all time, so I can't suggest his stuff.
I can't remember what else he's made.
Requiem for a Dream.
Oh.
Tons. Not tons.
Didn't he do Pie, too?
No.
Requiem from a Dream actually kind of killed it for me.
Really? You didn't enjoy that?
No.
It's a hard watch.
I just didn't think it was enjoyable. But anyway.
It isn't.
No, I mean, from a cinematic standpoint, I didn't.
Oh, no, he did do Pie. Yes. Yep. Yeah, he did Pie. He's done a lot of good stuff. Noah, The Fountain. Yeah. We did a whole podcast on him years ago.
I've never seen The Fountain, but I've always heard just back and forth good and
Fincher.
bad.
That's Fincher.
Yeah, Fincher. So, all right, Mara, we're back to you.
Okay. Oh, I'm just looking to see where I can see
Black
Mother.
Swan, of course, too. Thank you, Don.
Black Swan. That was one that I always wanted to see, but I never.
It was good.
Most of his movies, I feel like I want to see, and then I don't right away, and then it just kind of goes to the bottom of the list, and it's just the never-ending queue of movies, and then there's just movies that I've never heard of from 1925 that I need to see, and it's like.
Isn't that the brutal one? when people are like, you need to see the silent movie. It's amazing. And you're like, what? Why? And they tell you about it. You're like, crap, I need to see that movie.
Well, I'm just saying that it's just always movies coming out, like, that for whatever one reason or another, it's like, it wasn't on VHS, it wasn't on TV, they never put it on Blu-ray, but now all of a sudden, someone got the rights to it, so they're streaming it on some weird streaming service, and I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How come I never heard of this? And it's like, because it was, at the theater in 1985 for 2 weeks, and that was that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
What's yours?
Anyway, another sci-fi movie I'm going to go with right now.
Cool.
And one that I didn't realize that people kind of like to poo-poo on, and that's Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Oh, absolutely.
Written and directed by William Shatner.
Yes.
And I looked at, and I was just looking at the Wikipedia entry as I watched it, and it flopped. It was kind of like, I guess, damned from the beginning because none of the other characters liked the screenplay or the story that William Shatner had come up with. So it was picked apart and everything and changed. It is kind of a little bit of a hokey story, but I really liked it.
It is hokey.
It's essentially Spock's half brother hijacks the Enterprise.
Sarek, yep.
Sarek is that Cybok.
Oh,
Cybok.
sorry, you're right.
Cybok, that's right.
So he
Mara dropping the Trek knowledge on us
All
tonight.
right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I made my Spock reference before we were on the air, so you should know I know my shit here.
Oh, we know.
So anyway, it's Spock's half brother Cybok hijacks the Enterprise, and he wants to take it to go beyond the Great Barrier where he thinks God's going to be.
Yep.
And, and madness ensues.
What bugged me about it was that it had such a great supporting cast for it that they brought in. Like David Warner as the governor, the human governor for the I can't remember the name of the planet, the desert planet, but he's in it, and I am a huge David Warner fan, and his part was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally there as cannon fodder in the beginning of the movie, and that's it. And you're like, but he's there for the whole movie, but he's, it could be anybody in that part.
Yeah, it's kind of forgettable. I mean, the thing about that movie is I think it's a lot of fan service.
Oh yeah.
And if you're at the point when that movie came out in 1989, you've seen, like, you've been with these characters for 20 years now, over 20 years now. So it's like the first 20 minutes of the movie is like them camping. Is Bones, Spock,
I know, I love
and
that.
Kirk
I love
camping.
it. Oh, yeah.
I do too. But it's so fan service.
Them
and that's
singing
exactly
row,
that's
row your
exactly what
boat.
you want to see though. After like 3 seasons of the show, 4 crazy movies. It's like, let's watch these old dudes like camp
Just have fun.
and like give each other shit. They're
Yeah.
cute. It's cool, and I mean the effects are really kind of like far out.
Oh yeah.
and cool for
Yeah.
what it is in the 80s, and
I remember seeing it in theater.
that must have been cool.
It was cool. I saw every Star Trek movie in the theater from Star Trek 2 on.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
I remember seeing Nemesis in the theater and being like,
Oh God,
this is the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember knowing this is the end of the Next Generation cast.
It had to be. It had to be.
Yeah.
the movie was horrible.
Even Tom Hardy couldn't
Horrible.
save it.
Yeah. That was like one of his first movies,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I just think it's hysterical that that's Tom Hardy playing young Picard.
I know. Look at him now.
Yeah, now he's all, I'm Tom Hardy. But, yeah. I guess I'm next, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with the obvious from Trevor answer here and go Dogma.
I was gonna pick that one too,
Because...
but I figured you would. So I left it to say it.
Dogma's pretty much my wheelhouse. And Alanis Morissette's God. Mm-hmm. What else can you say?
Yeah.
I know.
That tells you the whole movie. That's the most important thing. Like, it tells you Kevin Smith's viewpoint on Christianity, on faith, on who God probably is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that a caring, nurturing, sarcastic, funny woman is God. And that explains everything you need to know about creation.
And that is a good movie too, like specifically about Christianity and about religion and about the way people perceive it and I guess interpret it.
Yep.
But also about faith too.
Yeah, about faith, about all of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, between Alan Rickman and Chris Rock, as their characters were so spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, Rufus, the 13th Apostle, and the Metatron, the voice of God.
Yes.
God. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Hit me with that fish. I watch that movie far too often, a lot more often than I care to admit in public. Like,
I would argue that this is easily Kevin Smith's best movie. I think this is his most well-rounded, best directed, has the best script, and it's the one film of his that really sticks the landing.
yeah.
Like he knew what he was going for thematically, and he didn't fuck it up at all.
Yeah.
Where like you can watch like, you know, even like Chasing Amy, as perfect as it is, there's like some rough spots in it.
There's a couple of rough spots.
And
in there.
then like
Absolutely.
you know, even Jay and Bob reboot, like it was fun. It was a blast, but the script is really rough.
Oh, it
really
is.
rough around the edges.
Well, you know what's funny is that getting to see him talk about that one, you get to find out why the script is rough. Because the movie changed drastically when Stan Lee died.
Okay.
The whole third act had to be
I
rewritten.
still haven't seen this yet. I really want to.
It's
Really good.
It's a good smoke a ton of weed and
Like
laugh
all
your
his
ass off
movies
movie.
are. All his movies are like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Dogma.
What's my excuse?
Dogma
I don't
is
know.
you're just you're just like naturally on a natural high.
Just naturally stoned.
Or I just
Dogma is definitely Kevin Smith's most ambitious movie, I would say.
Well, and he
Especially up to that point too,
Oh yeah.
where
He
he
was-
was in his career. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like at a career high at that point. I
Yeah.
think that was kind of like the plateau.
I think
for
so
him.
too. I think a lot. Well, he
think
had a
that
lot
might
of
be the first one.
controversy with that
Yeah.
one. I think a lot. I don't know. I mean, I remember seeing in the director's commentary on the DVD years and years ago that he was kind of like a little embarrassed by the end scenes of action. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not an action director. This is not good.
See,
You know, so-
I honestly think that he's about to hit a new peak.
You think so?
I think so.
I think now that he's healthy again and he got away from yoga hosers, I think
See, I thought Yoga Hosers was freaking brilliant.
I
and
still
so was
haven't
Tusk.
seen that one either. That was the one.
I struggled with that one. I
Now,
really, really
I
did.
honestly really liked Tusk.
Tusk was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it
loved
was too.
That movie.
I thought it was too.
Loved
And
it.
then when I learned all about that it was based on that Smodcast, I was like, well, this is freaking hilarious.
That makes it even better.
Yeah.
But I mean, his He-Man
Oh yeah, I
that
forgot
he's
about
producing
that. Yeah.
is looking amazing, and he's
Yep.
directing like half the episodes.
That's going to be cool. And
He's-
Henry Rollins is doing one of the, I can't remember who he's doing.
He's doing Triclops, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But he's got that coming out. But he also, his stuff for the CW has been ridiculously good. Because they're having him come in as a scripts doctor whenever he does the episodes to direct for the Arrowverse stuff. And you get some of you get Kevin Smith dialogue in a DC TV show.
That's cool.
And so they're actually starting to really pressure him to come do a movie with them. So I have a feeling we're going to get a Kevin Smith DC Comics movie in the near future.
That'd be great.
Wow, that's like 2 decades in the making.
Yeah, we've only been waiting since he wrote Green Arrow.
I remember seeing Dogma. I think we saw it at the main
He wrote
art.
Superman too.
I think we saw it at the main art like the night it came out. And there were, maybe like 50 people there or so. And, and this was like a big deal, and we're thinking it's going to be packed, and it wasn't. It kind of got like the art house treatment. But I just remember like walking out there being like, wow, like he really did something. Like this wasn't just Kevin Smith. This was an idea.
It told a perspective.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and obviously we got our daughter's name from this movie. So she's like, I'm never going to watch that movie. I'm like, one of these days you're going to watch Dogma. You have to.
She will.
Yeah.
And then she'll get it and she'll love it.
Yeah. Great film. Great
Yeah.
film. So the next one I'm going to go with, I've only seen this movie twice, so I'm not going to have a lot to say about it, but 2011 Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life.
Oh, yeah.
Very beautiful film.
Yes.
Just Jessica Chastain, Brad Pitt, Sean Penn.
Oh, I've seen the stuff for it. Just had.
It's very art.
Yeah, it's a poetic movie.
Yeah,
if I could use the term.
The narrative is not straightforward, but tons of, beautiful shots of nature, tons of long shots.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is like...
Nice suburban vibe.
Yeah, very suburban vibe. The movie is like a painting in many ways. And again, the narrative, it's not like this easy structure to follow. It's Terrence Malick. But this is a definite suggested viewing if you just want like these lustrous scenes and stuff like that. And the stars are really good in it too.
Yeah, Brad Pitt does a really, really, really good job in it. I'm usually a fan of his anyway, but I think he gives a exceptionally emotional performance in that movie. He does really good.
He really does, especially when you're not given a lot of lines to read. It's harder to carry a film and make it interesting, and they actually do that with this. Yeah. So it's a suggested watch. Again, not like one of my favorites. Like I said, I've seen it twice. I own the Blu-ray. Again, it's Malick, so not going to be in everybody's wheelhouse. Your mom might not like it. Yeah. So, that's my next one. That's all I got to say about it. It is a kind of hard topic.
It parts of it are, yeah. I mean, it all depends on your perspective on it, because I have a bunch of horror stuff that I have in mind.
Yeah.
I have other sci-fi stuff. Like, it can go anywhere with it.
What you got, Mara?
All right. I haven't seen this one in a minute, so I wanted to rewatch it, but I didn't. I didn't have time before we did this. But Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Station.
Which also has the Star Trek reference in it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's not really much I can say about it other than I don't. Yeah, I really wanted to rewatch it because there wasn't a lot I remember about it other than the fact that it's like they go on this, and like the first one they go on the time journey. Mm-hmm. This one they go on a metaphysical journey where they're kind of like figuring out the afterlife and, hanging out with death.
Hang out with death, play games with them, beat him at Twister.
I remember really liking it more than Bill and Ted's Excellent Journey.
Oh, really?
Or, whatever the other one's called.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, there you go. Forgot the word.
Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing it in theaters and laughing my ass off, and then not really seeing it for a long time after that.
Yeah.
And then I finally saw it again, and I'm like, this isn't as bad as I remembered it being. Like, this is a lot more fun.
It's way far out. It's really weird.
Really out there. Yeah. And but when I saw it the second time, I was also, that's back when I was still smoking weed and all that kind of stuff. So
you should start that again.
Yeah,
I can't. It gives me migraines.
Oh, that's right.
Damn it. Here's the thing, and that's why I don't remember it. Is I was like, I didn't watch it that long ago, and I'm like, why can't I remember it? But I think I was just smoking weed the whole time and having too good of a time. So I just remember, it's like, I don't remember much about it, but I remember I liked it. So I don't have much to say about it, because I did not have time to rewatch.
My next one is for Andrew.
Uh-oh.
And Andrew is going to appreciate this one. 2001.
Yeah.
Absolutely a movie about creation, about God, about evolution, about the journey of man. Like, it's all disguised as a sci-fi horror psychological movie, and there's just something amazing about it. I mean, the obelisk is God in the movie. The apes discover God, and all of a sudden tools become available. The evolution kickstarts the minute that they discover God. and then ends when they discover, or the next step happens when when we rediscover it.
And a total visual masterpiece for its time, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's mind blowing, really.
Yeah, we were just talking about this on Saturday about it a little bit, and how even the guy who's, I can't remember his name now, the main actor in it, is a pretty freaking mediocre actor in absolutely everything he did besides 2001, but Kubrick knew how to pull out a great performance out of him.
Mm-hmm.
With, again, very little dialogue, too.
Mm-hmm.
Very little. Mm-hmm. Very little. There's very few actors that can do
that.
Yeah. And that performance is one of them. I mean, it's utterly brilliant to see. I love the concept of God in the beginning, and then man becomes God and creates Hal, and Hal turns on man, and then man has to rediscover who God actually is in order to go to the next step. Mm-hmm. And that process in the movie I've always found absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
I've not seen this in a while.
I haven't seen it in probably 8 years.
It's been a minute
need
since
to
I've seen
revisit
it
it
too.
soon.
Yeah,
But
I do too.
I did write 5 papers on it when I was in between high school and film
Oh,
school.
wow.
So it was actually probably my favorite movie there for about a decade.
And you just can't go wrong with Kubrick.
You can't.
No.
Nope.
In every aspect.
There was never a bad Kubrick movie.
The worst one is Spartacus.
I would
and
agree.
That's still an amazing movie.
Yeah.
He came in halfway on that, didn't he?
He
as like
kinda.
Yeah, because it was a troubled production.
It was a troubled production. They brought him in to fix it, but he reshot so much of the movie that basically 90% of it is Kubrick.
Yeah.
But he hates the movie so much that when he died, he said that they were not allowed to ever include it in the Kubrick collection.
Yeah, it never was part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he probably just didn't feel like he owned it.
Because it wasn't
He
his.
didn't. Yeah.
It was a studio film.
Yeah.
God, we've never done a podcast on Kubrick yet, have we?
We should.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Did we do one?
Yeah, you, me, Andrew, and Scott.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
We'll do it all over again.
I would come back for
We
another
might
one.
need to pick a specific Kubrick movie.
That'd be fun.
We could do. Yeah, I would be
Like-
down anything except for Barry Lyndon.
I was going to say my pick's Barry Lyndon. We could just do it just with me.
We'll just tape Mara.
No,
Mine will probably-
Andrew and
I'll go,
Chris
I love
and,
it
and,
so
and Chris Jordan both love Barry Lyndon.
Yeah. That's
For
one of my
me,
favorites.
it's probably my least favorite of the independent Kubrick movies.
Full Metal Jacket to me is like life.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Full Metal Jacket.
I usually just don't give a crap, though, after the first half.
Yeah, because it's two separate movies.
Yeah, it really
It
is.
really is. It
Yeah.
really is.
I remember I had my film as art class at college, and we were doing Vietnam on film. And it was like Platoon, Hamburger Hill,
Pork
Apocalypse
Chop
Now.
Hill, Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket. And I remember, I had never noticed the split. Training, war. And, our professor pointing out this is actually two separate films. And a lot of people since then have actually kind of copied that format.
I loved the symbolism in the two halves. Mm-hmm. The first half of the movie is about taking away humanity,
Right.
and the second half is about rediscovering it,
Yeah. Yep.
which I've always thought was just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So, back to films about God. I don't really know if this one really qualifies as a film about God, but I think it focuses on a greater being. And in this movie, the greater being is the sun. Danny Boyle's Sunshine. You've never seen it either?
Never seen this.
A horrifying film where basically it's sci-fi. They're sent out into space and they're going to reignite the sun. They're going to get the sun going again. And
You and Michelle told me about
Yeah,
this, that I need to see
it's
it.
very visceral and very hallucinogenic towards the end. But in the film, like, the sun is that godly presence.
Yeah.
It's the greater thing. It's life. It's basically giving humans life or death, and they're basically going to sacrifice themselves to
Jumpstart
the sun and give life back to the planet.
Yeah.
So, visually arresting movie.
Is Ewan McGregor in it?
No, he's not. It's Cillian Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the star. And then Chris Evans is in it as well. There's a lot of people in this movie. The beginning has a very alien-esque feel. Everybody around the table on the spaceship coming out of stasis, but all that stuff going on. But definitely not a film directly about God, but again about
greater powers.
A greater power, something that's affecting life. So if you've not seen that movie, I suggest you see it because it's one of my favorite sci-fi films the last 10 or probably 15 years now. So definitely see it.
I need to see it.
And Cillian Murphy, I mean,
I love him.
That dude can
act.
Yeah.
He gets nowhere near enough credit.
No, because he doesn't do enough.
He does Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. Is that still on?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I've heard nothing but good things about that
too. He is so good in it.
Yeah. So it's a definite watch. It's a must see, especially if you're a sci-fi fan. Mm-hmm. And if you're a fan of Danny Boyle.
I'm a Danny Boyle, Cillian Murphy, or Cillian Murphy, or however you pronounce his name.
As long as you don't watch Trainspotting 2, we'll be good.
I actually didn't hate Trainspotting 2.
I forgot they even did that. I forgot. I didn't watch it.
Johnny Lee Miller in it made me very happy.
Okay, he was great.
Ewan was great. Both of them. Bremer and McGregor.
I didn't enjoy the repetition of the story.
It definitely felt like part 2.
Yeah.
Or like the redo.
Yes.
But it was so cool to revisit characters.
Yeah, it was. And the music was good still, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
All right. Another round robin. Mara, what you got for me? Hit me.
Oh, I just thought of something and I forgot.
Aww.
Yeah.
Spit it, girl.
Come back. Skip me for now.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go Stigmata.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that movie. I remember what mine was now. Okay.
Patricia Arquette in that movie. Amazing. Gabriel Byrne as the priest.
Yes.
I mean, that whole thing blew my mind. Just had a rewatch of it a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. And I had forgotten so much of the political aspects of the movie that are there that it kind of blew my mind just how damning it was of the Catholic Church. That it made not just God a villain, but it made the Catholic Church a villain. And it was very interesting to see that God is attacking this atheist woman with signs of the cross, killing her slowly, while the Catholic Church is more concerned with her being an atheist than what's happening to her. And it's just like, holy crap. Like, that's a lot heavier than I remembered it being. I just remembered it being a good
right.
thriller. And then, but on rewatch, it was like, oh, Jesus. Okay.
No pun intended.
Or pun intended.
Pun fully intended.
That was one that I saw at the theater in my teenage days to get out of the house, and I remember thinking I did not like it.
Oh, I loved it.
It'd be interesting to rewatch it though.
You might. It was really interesting, and a love dynamic between the priest and her was really interesting too.
Yeah.
Where it like I said, it was really this condemnation of a lot of things all at once, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about that I found very compelling.
I'm going to kind of spin off that. 1988, The Seventh Sign.
Oh, Demi Moore at her best.
Demi Moore and Jürgen Prochnow.
Yep. Jürgen
Prochnow. Yeah. Movie about the 7 signs of the apocalypse and Earth basically coming to an end. It's about the apocalypse. Yep. I don't think you have a film that's more God than this. This film is about God's wrath and basically trying to eliminate the planet for
the
apocalypse.
Sins.
Yeah. Very dark. Dark movie.
Unsettling.
It flopped at the box office. It only made $18 million total.
I know. Yeah.
But
I remember I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, I did too.
And I loved it.
I owned it on VHS for years. Me and
I
my
did
mom
too.
used to rewatch this.
I had it on VHS, but I've never bought it on any other media.
Yeah, I think this is actually like a must-see film. Oh, and that's right. She's pregnant with what's going to be the second coming of Christ, correct?
Or it's the Antichrist.
No, she's pregnant with the Antichrist. That's right.
That's the Antichrist, yeah.
And Jürgen Prochnow
Is the priest.
right? And then who was the oh man. Michael Biehn was in it also.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Jürgen Prochnow was the border. David. He was Jesus of Nazareth.
That's right.
Yeah, he was Jesus returned, basically.
That's right.
So the Seventh Sign, this is just one of those movies that never gets talked about.
I know.
Really.
It's funny because it's about the breaking of the seals of the apocalypse and the way that they cover so much of it was so intensely uncomfortable.
They just fit it into the story so well. They interwove it into like this very human tale about her being pregnant and about to give birth to something very nasty.
Yeah.
So
the end of the world, essentially.
Yeah. If you can find a copy of The Seventh Sign, I'm not sure if it's available for streaming anywhere, but yeah, this is a strong suggestion. So
You can rent it on Prime for $2.
is it?
Or
Oh,
$3.
that's not bad. Yeah, I'll watch it tonight.
It's worth it. It's worth a watch.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
I won't because I'm going home and going to bed after this.
I'm not.
I'm old and lazy.
You got one for us, Mara?
Yeah, I do.
Alrighty.
I completely forgot about this movie till right now too, and that's the movie Hail Mary, French film by Jean-Luc Godard from 1985.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a modern retelling of a virgin birth of a young girl named Marie, and it's pretty. It's kind of cheesy and weird, but I guess at the time it was like really controversial.
It was.
And the Catholic Church didn't want anyone to see it. It was sacrilegious and everything like that. And so if you go into it like looking for something like shocking, you're kind of gonna be disappointed.
Wasn't that one of the ones that the women I can't remember what the group's called. It's a group of Catholic women that protest
I believe you're
basically
right.
anything.
I thought it was
a
group of nuns, but you might be right.
Yeah.
It was Tipper Gore.
I think
maybe. It was her. Yeah.
But yeah, it was this whole coalition that came out and said it was pornography.
Yeah.
Pornography and a sin against God.
Yeah.
And I remember it just being like this huge deal.
Yeah.
I like the way this sounds.
And
I know it's not that.
I was like
not
9.
that exciting.
I was 9 when it came out, and I remember the furor over it. Yeah.
Well, I remember hearing about it and being like, "Oh my god, I have to see this," and like kind of being a little let down. But at the same time, it's
It's a beautiful Godard movie.
Yeah, it is. It's Godard. It's so it's like it was a good time.
It's funny. I can sit here and poo like Malik and that kind of stuff. Where I'm like, I'm just not that big of a fan of just movies that are all about visuals. But then I can frickin' like binge watch Godard movies.
Well, the Godard movie is arguably a very, very, very straightforward narrative compared to Terrence Malick.
They are a lot more straightforward, but they're also like 90% of why you're watching it is because they're beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can make fun of or not make fun of, but I can be like, Malick, I don't know, not really my thing, but Godard, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm kind of sad that way. That was a good movie.
And then I have a throwaway too. That was going to be my
throwaway.
That was going to be like if I have nothing else to say. I was going to say The Exorcist.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even though it's more
I would go farther. I'd say Exorcist 2.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
The 2 is more about God and about gods than 1 was.
Well, I mean, 1 is essentially like, the priest is dealing with, his own faith and I kind of feel like any movie that's like where people are grappling with faith and the like their emotional side and their logical side. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going when I was thinking about this topic.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of faith in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to try and exercise Pazuzu.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exercise.
Exercise?
Come on, let's exercise.
They're
He needs to get off his
jazzercising Pazuzu. My next one actually stars Mara's favorite musician of all time,
Prophecy 2?
The Prophecy. He was in the first one. He
No,
was the
he was
first
in the
angel.
second one.
He was in the first. He was
No,
the
he
first
wasn't.
angel to die.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was the Prophecy too.
You could look it up, but I'm telling you right now that he was in Prophecy 2.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I could have sworn that he was the first angel that dies in the movie and hits the car.
I think in the second
No, he dies in the second one in like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Really?
Damn you, Danzig.
Yeah.
Now I'm upset. Oh, you're right. It was Jeff Cadiente was Uziel in the first one.
Yeah.
Well,
But
curses.
still.
Either way,
Curses.
the Prophecy, the first one, because the rest of them are.
I've never seen the first one. I've only
She
seen the
only
second one.
She's like, Danzig's in this one.
I loved Elias Koteas in this movie.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He was
always great.
so good in it. Viggo Mortensen as the devil is amazing. Like that him in that movie is why I was okay with him playing Aragorn in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Was purely because of the Prophecy. I was like, he was such a great devil. He'll be interesting to see. Virginia Madsen was great. And the story, and Christopher Walken. I mean,
Damn.
that's all you need, you know? Yeah, I mean, the movie was so uncomfortable and wonderful.
We need more Chris Walken impersonations on this show, you know?
Well, I can try, but I don't know what you want from me anymore. I come here all the time, and you're looking at me, and all I got to say is popcorn.
Popcorn. All right. I'm going to just... The Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
You know, Mel Gibson is a director. I know we don't like him as a person. He's a very, very bad person.
And he loves to make a bloody movie.
Oh, my...
Good God, does he?
Yeah.
That
He loves
movie-
the gore.
Yeah.
Between it and Braveheart, I mean, Jesus.
Apocalypto? Apocalypto,
Oh, yeah.
I mean?
Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Jesus, I forgot about that one.
No pun intended.
Well, maybe again, it might be.
Jesus. But yeah, Passion of the Christ, I mean, it's just brutal.
How many movies can you think of made in the Aramaic?
None.
Yeah,
One.
one.
And, you know, him and Caviezel are still
Yeah,
trying to make a sequel.
I know. How the
this.
hell do you make a sequel?
Wow. Yeah.
It's going to be about the return of Christ, is what I'm understanding.
So they're going to make like a...
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I think they need to do?
I'm
I
down
think,
to see this. To be
I think
honest.
they need to make the Mormon Bible version.
Yeah.
So he comes back in South America, and then Mel Gibson can combine Apocalypto and Passion of the Christ into one movie.
Do like Apocalypto 2, the return of the Jesus Christ.
The Return of Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Like he comes back to like dole out all this ultra violence.
Jesus is back, and now he has the flail.
Jesus is back and he's the devil.
And he'll beat the devil out of you.
Yeah, but I mean, this is more of like a straightforward.
That's
film
about as
about the Son of God.
Yep.
I've watched this movie one time. I believe I gave you the Blu-ray to sell on eBay because there was no reason for me to ever watch this movie again. Great filmmaking.
You know
but
what's cracking me up is that we've all ignored like one of the best movies ever made.
what is it?
Actually, two of them. Seventh Seal
Yup.
I was going to mention that one too, but I didn't have a chance to watch it.
and Last Temptation of Christ.
I just thought of that one right now because we're talking about the Passion of Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Last Temptation was on my list
Yeah.
because it's freaking brilliant.
David Bowie's in that one.
Yes, he is.
Scorsese directed this, right?
Oh yeah. And Willem Dafoe is Jesus.
That's right.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes. Yeah, I own it. I've got the Criterion disc of it.
Okay, because holy crap, the whole sect.
Let's go back to Passion though.
Oh yeah.
Were you?
I'm done. I
Okay.
can't talk anymore
I would
about
say
it.
I figured that he was done when
I'm done.
he's like, I saw it once. That's all
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to fucking see it.
Sorry.
At that point, I was like, well, that sounds like I'm done with this movie. What do you got? What do you have?
Oh, me?
Yeah. We can go back to mine.
I'm kind of tapped out because I had, like you mentioned, I had Seventh Seal, but I didn't have a chance to go watch it or rewatch it. I hadn't seen it in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So I can't. It's like.
Yeah, I don't know if I could actually talk about it because I haven't seen it since maybe film school.
And then my other one was Jesus Christ Superstar, which was another one I haven't seen since middle school.
Jesus Christ.
Which I was like, I don't know, I'm a little, I don't really like it, but I kind of like.
It's really catchy.
I like to dislike it almost because I'm not a musical fan, like at all. I like Little
love
Shop.
them. I can't get enough of them.
I only like
I can't
Little
tell if
Shop
that's
of
sarcasm
Horrors.
or not.
It's not sarcasm.
Oh, thank God I'm
Put
not the only
a
one.
good musical in front of me, and I will eat that shit up.
I even get like irritated when they do musical numbers, like on a show a lot, like on The Simpsons or something. I'm like,
if it's a cheesy musical, no. But if it's like Les Mis, like I could watch that like all week long.
no, it doesn't even matter for me.
No?
I like Grease. I like Little Shop of Horrors. I like Little Mermaid.
I can do those too.
Oliver.
But if it's like corny, like what was the rock and roll one a couple years ago with Tom Cruise?
Rock of Ages.
Like that.
that was
bothered me.
terrible.
That movie was pretty damn terrible.
It was just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like Pirates of Penzance, amazing with Kevin Kline, Linda Ronstadt,
yeah.
and all them. Love
Yeah.
that. Oliver with I can't even remember who's in it. Amazing cast though. Oliver Reed as Bill Sykes in that. Great. No, I'm an unabashed musical fan. Unabashed.
We actually covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, we covered a lot of movies pretty quick.
Because there's a lot of.
Yeah.
There are.
I mean, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Evan Almighty.
Evan Almighty. I mean, literally 2 movies about God.
Yeah.
About being God.
I also kept thinking of, I didn't want to talk about it because I don't really like this movie and I have nothing to say about it, but I kept thinking of Little Nicky.
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne's in it as God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of movies, and then it's like, you know, because you can go like we were saying, real straightforward, like something like Oh God, or Passion of the Christ, or we were you know, go more like off the wall, like 2001, and you know, Contact, and all these other things we're talking about. So there's just different ways you can go with it.
That's kind of why I liked the subject.
Yeah.
Is like I said, it's not my favorite subject until you start thinking about it, and then you're like, holy crap! There's a lot of really good stuff in this in there.
I know, and I even asked my friend like just to get someone else's like, I guess, like mind on it, like when are some movies about God, and she told me a bunch of movies that I never would have thought of that I are on like my list now to watch.
Really?
So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
One of the ones I was going to say was both versions of the 10 Commandments are amazing. The Cecil B. DeMille one,
Yeah.
and the
There was like a TV version, right, or something?
well, earlier, I can't remember his name. Silent movie.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the director. He's the guy who did. What didn't he do? But he did the one with the Ku Klux Klan writing and.
Oh, D.W. Griffith.
Thank you, Griffith's 10 Commandments, that actually had the largest sets ever made for a film.
1923.
Mm-hmm. They just found the sets, by the way. They never tore down the sets, and they found them buried in the desert. Still,
Wow.
Yeah. They basically built. It would be like 3 square blocks of Egypt and Rome. They built sets for
Are you
it.
talking about Intolerance?
Intolerance, yes.
Yeah, that was up for a long time in there, but that's been torn down since.
Actually, they just found it. They just found a whole bunch of the sets for it.
You have to send me that article because
there's
doesn't sound accurate.
actual archaeologists were searching for it, and
That's crazy.
I shared the article a few months ago.
Yeah.
When they first found it, I was like, "Holy shit!" Yeah.
All right, are we done?
I'm tapped out.
I think
but
I'm tapped out, too.
But I got like a list
Yeah.
of movies I want to watch though, so that's cool.
That's good.
I've been looking for other things to watch besides just horror.
Yeah, because horror,
So-
you know, I love horror too, but over time you get like,
I just need something else.
yeah.
Did you watch Deadlands yet?
No.
Really good. Really
Yeah.
Good horror. Really good horror.
Is that the one with like the warriors in it? Yeah.
That's the indigenous.
Yeah. Deadlands is cool.
Yeah.
You got to see VFW.
Mm.
I suggested that 2 weeks ago.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Or
You got to see
the Joe Hill
VFW.
one.
That's, I think, on streaming now, too. All right. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep. Adios.
We're getting tired.
Nighty night.
Nighty night. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Visit us at www.themoviesleuth.com and find The Movie Sleuth on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and iTunes.